Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Everyday I Do, How to Say Yes in the Face of Extraordinary Circumstances. My name is Angel Myers. I will be your host. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, over 15 plus 20 years experience in the mental health field. And today we're going to cover more of this topic of, again, saying yes in the face of extraordinary circumstances, and we'll narrow it down to appeals in the medical insurance platform. So for those of you who have an MCO, a PPO, HMO, or the like, or if you're with a large corporation where they actually function as the insurance provider and they hire insurance companies to kind of work as the broker, this video is for you if you're finding that you're having any problems with getting treatment, services, intervention through your medical insurance. We're going to talk about ways to appeal your insurance decision. Now, I want to give you a little bit of background. I'm actually working on an insurance appeal with the company that serves my son. Again, for those of you who don't know, I've shared already that I have a child with special needs. And in this case, I'm working on a wheelchair platform lift with his insurance provider. Now, a couple things that I'm actually doing, I've done some of these things before, and I just want to take you along the process of what I've been working on my end, hopefully some strategies that'll help you as you appeal decisions perhaps that you're not happy with through your medical care provider as well. Appealing, essentially, you're looking to advocate, I wouldn't say quite against, but an alternative to the initial decision regarding the treatment intervention service that you're seeking through your medical care provider. There's a lot of ways to do this. You're going to want to check with your medical care provider, give them a call, look through your insurance plan, and see what is the process. Some insurance companies you have to fax it, some you can do it online. Some also offer the option to calling in. So find out how you can do that. That's step one. Figuring out what specifically that you're going to be appealing is kind of alongside step one as well. And then what I have done is I've looked for a copy of records. So because of the situation I'm in with my son and my concerns regarding his care, I actually wanted a copy of all his records to be able to collect and aggregate some of the data that they're using to make their decisions. You have a right to that information as well. Your information is protected under HIPAA, and you have a right to your records. Now, there are deadlines in which when you make those requests that the insurance company has to respond. What I have seen is typically around 30 days, and then they have the opportunity to extend with reason. Look in your state, contact your insurance company, and assuming that it's under a body that's considered to be one that has to follow rules, regulations under HIPAA. And I'm going to assume so if it's an insurance company. It's a standard, large enough insurance company. But again, you'll want to pursue and get all the information regarding that. But once you've got the decision that you've gotten regarding the denial of the specific resource, you want to get a copy of the record. And that's just so you can look and see the argument that you're going to be making against their initial determination. Sometimes some of you have and could benefit from a medical case manager. If you already have one, contact the medical case manager. They can actually help you getting information for the appeal as well, help you getting copies of those records. If you don't have one and you want one, you can contact the insurance company, see if you're eligible to have one, if they offer that service, medical case management. And that would be someone to kind of help you with accessing information around your claims, decisions that are made, helping you follow along with treatment interventions, services that you're eligible, benefits that you're eligible for through the insurance company. And if you don't, that's okay. You can do all of this on your own. It's just an added resource if that's something that you want to be able to tap into. So you can get that information from your CM as well, your care coordinator, medical case manager, through the insurance company, or you can pursue it on your own. Aggregate that information, collect it, look at it, and based on the specific intervention you're appealing, you're going to look at the history of your loved one's medical condition, services they received, and see if there are gaps in care, see if there is an argument to be made regarding the approval for this treatment intervention. Then you want to get a copy of what the regulation says around this particular benefit. Sometimes you can find this information online. You can call the provider, the medical care organization, and see if they'll, if they can point you to the direction online where it's available. My experience is there still is a much more narrowly defined explanation of eligibility for a specific benefit. That's what you want. You don't want to write an appeal based on sentiment or you feel as though your loved one qualifies because it's the right thing to do, for instance, or because they haven't had this service before. You want to write your appeal based on the same medical criteria, benefit information, that scope that they're using, that they have to use to be able to determine eligibility. So when you call them, you're going to ask for what the regulation around that specific benefit is, and can they send it to you? Can I have a copy of that eligibility benefit around this specific intervention or service that you're seeking? Ask for a copy of that. A lot of times they can email it to you or they can mail it. If you don't have access to that, that's fine. You're going to want to write your appeal around that. Very important, because it's going to be based on the scope of potential eligibility. So get a copy of that as well. And then you want to get a copy of the records from your medical care provider. Now, you don't need all the records, but you want it to be sourced around the intervention or the service that you're seeking. The equipment, for instance, if you're seeking durable medical equipment or specific medication, you want to be able to, hopefully you're working with your doctor regularly because they're kind of your medical case manager coordinating all of your medical care. And they generally function as kind of a central hub for all of those medical services that you're getting, interventions that you're getting. So hopefully you can contact them, let them know, hey, I've been denied this particular benefit. Usually they already know. They can look in the system if you're working regularly with an MD. If you're not, I would recommend getting a regular care provider, or if it's a specialty care provider that is recommending the treatment intervention and they're the ones who is the prescribing provider, they typically will already know if they've already written it as well. A lot of times these providers will work on your behalf to get past the denial, whether it's a prior authorization is required or there's lacking medical necessity or you have to try this particular treatment intervention first before you are qualified to then get approval for the next layer or next row of medication or intervention. They're usually in step, they're used to, they're accustomed to this. So be working with that medical care provider to be able to craft and write the appeal. Let's see. The other thing that you want to do is be aware of the timeline. So when you're writing an appeal, usually there is a timeline that you have to have the information in once that initial denial has been given. I've seen things as long as, I think, 60 days for some insurance companies. You'll want to know for sure what your insurance company is, their timeline for getting that appeal in, because you don't want to miss that deadline. Because then it opens up the doors to other measures. So you've done the appeal, you've then maybe been considered having exhausted the particular measures, and then there might be a third level of appeal for those of you who have Medicaid as well. There might be a state fair hearing in your state, depending on your state and how they run Medicaid, but you'll want to research and see what that looks like once you've exhausted all the internal company appeal processes, what that third level is. Now, for some of you, you'll want assistance with all of this. So you can, if you might want to consult with an insurance bureau advocate, you'll look in your state and see what those the state insurance advocacy organizations are. It varies state to state. So that's one. You might want to speak to an advocate through whatever, for instance, if you're getting services through the hospital and there was a denial, those hospital staff can be assisting the patient advocate or the medical social worker. if you're inpatient, for instance, and wanting someone to kind of help you. And again, usually they're doing those things as well, especially if you're inpatient or if you're working outpatient with a prescribing medical provider, they can help you with that as well, but pointing you in the direction for an advocate. Some of you might even get to the point where you're wanting to consult with an attorney and see what are potential options, whether it's you're noticing systemic patterns where you might not be able to access certain benefits that you feel you might be eligible for, you and your medical provider, based on the specific regulations. So, you might want to consult with an attorney as well. Some insurance companies are so large, again, like I shared, that they're not actually hiring a medical care organization to implement their insurance benefit. They've hired one to really just be an administrator, or to be the broker, but they are the company that you work for is the administrator. So they might not actually be under the insurance body, some of the state insurance regulatory bodies, because of the way that they're organized. Your large corporation is organized. So in which case you can appeal also through the HR department, their benefits department at your organization. It's hard to find out if that's you. Usually those are very large conglomerate type organizations. So you can research and kind of do some digging and asking HR, asking your benefits department. They can kind of help you figure those things out as well. But that's kind of a quick snapshot on the appeals process, the unfortunate opportunity that many of us kind of leave on the table to be able to access that resource, that benefit that you might be able to touch, or to tap into, but because we've got that first level of denial, we maybe make the assumption, well, we just can't have it. And that's not necessarily the case. It does mean you might have to do a little bit more advocacy, do a little bit more research, do some writing. There are people that can help you in writing your appeal. You've got the medical providers. I've already shared some advocates, even if you need to get to a level where you're consulting with an attorney after you've exhausted all of your internal resources through the medical care organizations. Just know that no does not necessarily, it might, depending on what that need is, but doesn't necessarily have to be no on that first round. You have some other options available to you. I hope that was helpful. There's a lot to this, and I'm just trying to give a snapshot. But if you have any questions, please drop those below. I'm happy to give some other resources. If you think of something else around this topic, drop the comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Have a great day.